For all you cinephiles out there, if you ever want to make a casual moviegoer never ask you for a movie recommendation again, just suggest they watch this movie and they will never bother you ever again. Hello, I am Dr. Rorschach, and today we are going to be talking about Brandon Cronenberg's Infinity Pool. Infinity Pool is a science fiction horror flick starring Mia Goth and Alexander Skarsgård. The movie is directed by Brandon Cronenberg, son of famous body horror film David Cronenberg. Do you guys ever think that David Cronenberg as your father would count as generational trauma in some sense? So anyways, Infinity Pool is a bit hard to introduce here. The trailers are pretty vague. A lot of people watching it are going to walk out of it not even knowing what the film's about. But I honestly went into this movie almost completely blind on the plot of it. But basically, the film follows a struggling writer who meets a strange woman while vacationing in a foreign country, and he begins to discover traumatizing things outside of the resort. First and foremost, I do want to say that unfortunately, this does fall into the category of film where it is art house horror. But unfortunately, we are going to see more traditional horror movie fans go into this not really knowing what they're getting into due to misleading marketing here and there. Very, very similar to what we've seen in recent years with films such as Men, Lamb, or even It Comes at Night. But movie-wise, I think Infinity Pool is fine for what it's trying to accomplish. The movie is less body horror and more sexual horror than anything. It definitely finds a way to disturb you and make you even squirm in its epileptic, acid-like sex scenes. The movie also takes on big questions about self-harm, but more from an outside perspective, which is probably the freshest idea here in this film. Mia Goth and Alexander Skarsgård are both decent in this movie, but you can definitely feel them in the shadows of the roles we saw them in last year. This film also has some interesting cinematography for its budget. It's definitely in line with what we have and come to know for neon films in the past few years. I will have to say though, I have zero clue how this movie got away with an R rating. It definitely feels like this movie should have been NC-17 just from the sheer nature of the sexual scenes in this movie. But my biggest complaints here with this film are this movie is about 20 minutes too long, and in the end you're really going to feel that end dragging along. But also, without saying too much about the plot, I really felt like this movie needed to build more on the central piece of the story, that being the big secret of what's happening on this island. It's only ever directly talked about a few times, and we don't ever really spend time fleshing it out as the main plot element here. But overall, Infinity Pool is an alright time. But again, it has that huge asterisk mark next to it being, you're probably only going to like this if you like art house horror. Hopefully most people going into this are going to know what they're getting themselves into and don't feel tricked by the marketing here. But I'm going to give Infinity Pool a 6 out of 10. So what do all 15 people who have seen this movie think of Infinity Pool? If you are one of those people, let me know what you think. I like to hear other opinions than the ones we see on the audience scores of Rotten Tomatoes. Those are always quite humorous. But anyways, that is all I have for today. Thank you so much for watching.